Hi everybody. So during this session, let us try to understand about FPGA basics, and our objective is to understand about how to interpret the RTL design at fabric level. So let us start. So most of you are familiar with Verilog, which is hardware description language. Now consider I have a synchronous design like this, where we have a common clock, and I have piece of code using always procedural block, where always at the rate of passage of the clock, which indicates rising edge of the clock, which is low to high transition, and within this begin and end we have two non-blocking assignments. Already we have discussed that blocking assignments are useful for combinational design. Non-blocking assignments are recommended for the sequential design. Now what happens is that this Q1 assign with D non-blocking assignment, this will infer this flip-flop Q1 assign with D, and Q assign with Q1, this infers this flip-flop. So two flip-flop stages, they are connected in cascade. So that is nothing but equivalent synthesis result. Now try to understand that how this will fit on the FPGA fabric and what are the different basic resources of pre-programmable gate array. So if we consider this FPGA pre-programmable gate array, then we have programmable logic blocks. They are shown here by green color, programmable logic blocks or configurable logic blocks. So this you can call as a CLB, configurable logic block, which consists of lookup table and slice register. Then we have at the periphery of this FPGA, we have the IO blocks. So these are different IO blocks, input output blocks. So depending on whatever your direction of the port, whether it is input port or output port, that will be configured by using this IO block. That direction will be set by using IO block logic. And then we have different here wires or interconnects. At present, at the initial level, try to understand that FPGA resources, main resources are configurable logic block or programmable logic block, then IO blocks and programmable interconnects. Understand about the CLB structure, IO block structure and interconnect structure, and then we can try to have a design. Now for example, I have this synchronous design, synchronous sequential circuit. Clock is common. Now you try to write a RTL by using Verilog, always at the rate of passage of the clock. This begin and end. You use a NBA assignments. Non-blocking assignments, and then try to code this logic. Try to understand that how this logic can fit on the FPGA fabric. At least try to imagine. Now at the fabric level, try to imagine that how these four resistors or how this synchronous design will fit on the fabric. You can imagine that, okay, I have a configurable logic block, and each configurable logic block has just two resistors, two flip-flops, and then at that time I'll be having piece of code RTL design using always procedural block, that is always at the rate of passage of the clock. Begin of the always block, end of the always block. As it is sequential design, you can use here NBA assignments, non-blocking assignments. So all non-blocking assignments are recommended to get this logic. Here this is considered this as a Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and then try to code the RTL and try to understand what are the different FPGA resources. So effectively what happens is that whatever these 4 registers are there, if I have CLB which has 2 registers, 2 flip-flops, then at that time they will use 2 configurable logic blocks. So these 2 registers will fit in this configurable logic block. These 2 registers will fit in this configurable logic blocks. Depending on the FPGA logic family or FPGA device, we can have CLB structure, and each CLB can have multiple slice registers or multiple flip-flops at the same time, can have 4 input, 5 input, 6 input, 9 input lookup tables depending on the logic requirements. You can have multiple lookup tables, and then nowadays modern FPGAs are there. They have many other resources like dedicated multipliers, DSP blocks. Then you will be having high-end external interfaces, then clock management units. Even this FPGA will be having some clock management unit. So as far as this session is concerned, we are just discussing about how we can think about logic inferred. So we have a RTL, and then how that RTL will reside in particular FPGA's resource, which can be configurable logic block or which can be any other block. So programmable logic or configurable logic. Consider that every programmable logic block or configurable logic block has 2 registers, register 1, register 2, and 2 lookup tables. These lookup tables can have 4 inputs, for example. There may be internal interconnection to get the combinational output or sequential output. Now you can think about 16-bit serial input, serial output register. How many CLBs are required? CLB required. So try to understand how many CLBs are required for this. Then if we consider the FPGA fabric, then we can have multiple configurable logic blocks or programmable logic blocks. These are different programmable logic blocks, and each programmable logic block will be having multiple registers, slice registers, depending on the logic family. So effectively, as far as last example is concerned, we just need 2 programmable logic blocks or configurable logic blocks, and as I have single input as a D and clock, I need dedicated clock resource, clock port, and one of the input as a D, output as a, if we can recall output as a, this final output Q. Input port as a D, output port as a Q, and clock port. So input I need as a D, then clock port, and output as a Q. I have different kinds of interconnects, or you can say programmable interconnects. So whatever these programmable interconnects, they will be having some drive strength. And our goal is that whenever FPGA tool will try to map this or route the design, it will try to route the design in such a way that we can get the minimum routing delay. So that routing algorithm will take care, and that is out of scope as per as this discussion is concerned. So interconnect inside the programmable logic block, interconnects in between programmable logic block. That means I have multiple CLBs like this. How they will be connected? So output of this should be connected to input of this, for example. How they will be connected? Then short lines, long lines, all that. If output of this should be connected to input of this, or output of this should be connected to some other CLB. And at that time, there will be some sort of routing algorithm which will try to understand about the delays, interconnect delays, and then it will try to route the design, place the design and route the design. So there are actually many types of interconnects, and there will be impact on the speed whenever these interconnects are used, but that is job of the routing tool. So at the higher level, if we try to imagine this, then at that time I have a lookup table. Now we need to imagine about what is the structure of lookup table, what is present inside this CLB apart from register and slices, how this logic will fit on single CLB. Is it possible that single CLB we can fit this logic? And what are the different inputs and outputs? Here we have clock as an input, and for example this Q as output. So this is my input, this is my output. Getting this point? So in the next subsequent session, what we need to do is that we need to understand about what is structure of lookup table, what is structure of configurable logic block, what are the different elements of configurable logic block. That may be lookup table, that may be register. We will try to choose one of the FPGA family and then try to understand about lookup table, CLB, IO blocks, then clock management units, then we can have dedicated resources, DSP blocks, multipliers, then high-end interface, external interfaces. Okay, so lot of other dedicated blocks will be present on the FPGA fabric. So what you do is that you try to design some combinational logic, like for example 4:16 decoder or high density decoder, and try to imagine that how many lookup tables are required. And as far as sequential design is concerned, try to code some sort of ring counter, Johnson counter, or 16-bit gray counter, and then try to imagine what are the different FPGA resources which are required. That will be really useful to understand how logic resides on FPGA fabric. So with this I will stop here. Thank you very much.